we have this really cool thing that's going to be happening here in the county that I live in. And I'd like to invite a few guests in here to talk with us. We have Tracy, who is right next to me in her nice mustache. We have Britt, who is down underneath Aaron. And we have Donna, who is wearing her mustache. See, look at, we already lost Tracy. She's already screwing around and she's like, look at me trying to be all fancy and stuff. And
okay, she's back.
Going into the darkness. So I have, okay, so you guys are all part of the Geauga County Suicide Prevention Coalition. And coming up in November, you guys are doing this program called MOVEMBER. And basically what I wanted to do was have you guys on to kind of explain the purpose of MOVEMBER, talk a little bit about, you know, how you guys got involved in everything that's going on. And, you know, so we'll start with Donna and, we'll start with Britt, and she can tell us a little bit about her work at Ravenwood Mental Health Center, which is in Geauga County. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this organization, please.
Well, so my name's Britton. I am the Chief Operating Officer at Ravenwood Health, and I'm also part of the Geauga County Suicide Prevention Coalition, in which Donna and Tracy, are also. So really, the Prevention Coalition is really our mission is zero suicide, I guess. So let me just tell you this. So because even one suicide is too many. And so the coalition really works throughout the year to bring different prevention and educational material to Geauga County residents and the surrounding counties, really just to bring awareness to mental health. And so, I think that what we're here today is because of Movember. So we're trying to kick Movember off, which is where you guys, come in, grow a Mo. And so in the month of Movember, we're kicking this campaign off. And so Donna, you can talk a little bit more about the actual campaign.
Sure. Let me give you a little bit of history about Movember. It really started in Melbourne, Australia. A group of men were sitting around a pub, jeering each other about who can grow a better mustache. And there are about 30 guys sitting around, and they call themselves the Mo Bros. And they had a contest to see who could grow the best mustache. Next year when they met, they decided that they should turn this into something. And they decided that when people asked about growing a mustache, they would steer the conversation towards men's health issues. And Movember was born. I think it's in 23 countries now. So it's an international campaign in the month of November about men's health issues, all men's health issues. Here in Geauga County, the Suicide Coalition kind of grabbed onto that Movember campaign, and we decided that we were specifically, as the Suicide Coalition, we're going to concentrate on men's mental health issues.
All right. Now, I had originally met Donna and Tracy last year. It was actually, it was exactly a year ago, because as we were talking earlier in the show, it was Monsters Ball, which is a competition that happens outside of Pittsburgh every year. And I was supposed to be headed to Pittsburgh for this event, and I got hurt at work, and I ended up missing part of the event. And then I was actually emceeing an event for Women's Safe, which helps battered women, men, and all different types of situations in the Geauga County area. And you two had this really cool display set up where you had taken pictures of different people, which I'll bring up here. Like as I was showing here, like this picture, you guys took this picture of me there. But you guys had a really cool display, and this is where you guys were, introducing me to all the stuff you guys were doing. You guys added a little coloring contest. Do any of you guys have one of those pictures you could lift up and show real quick? If not, that's all right.
Yes.
But also, yeah. So they have these different pictures that the kids can download offline and color and stuff like that. But yeah, so this was the display that they had up at the square, and Donna looks so good there.
Yeah,
I know.
it was a little bit thicker back then.
Yeah, she trimmed a little bit, but so anyways, yeah, so they had all this really cool literature about suicide prevention, and just a bunch of just very helpful information. And as I had talked to them and stuff, I've lost a few friends of mine due to suicide, and I also know too that with all the stuff going on in the world right now, there's a lot of people that are dealing with with COVID and all that stuff. People have lost their jobs. People have been stuck at home. They've been unable to communicate with people, and I'm sure a lot of people are really suffering with a lot of depression and not knowing, how to properly, vent it, take care of it, share it with people, or the people that are around them know what to do or the signs to look for to reach out for help for them or have the proper conversation for them. But anyway, so Tracy here, she works for the sheriff's department, and what's your exact title?
I am the victim advocate at the Geauga County Sheriff's Office.
All right. And she's pretty much she's the front line for any of the situations that happen. So tell us a little bit about your role and what you've seen and what effects it's had on families, friends, whatever.
Thank you, Scott. Well, my job is I go on scene with law enforcement, and I have seen the aftermath of suicide and what it does to a family when that traumatic loss occurs. Suicide affects everybody in our community, everyone. The impact is so severe, especially in small, tight-knit communities such as Geauga County, where we're from. The impact is severe. It affects everybody, and our goal is to have 0 suicides. This year, we're already at 11. Last year, we had 12. Nearly everyone at some time in their life will think about suicide, but most everyone decides to live because they come to realize the crisis is temporary, but death is not. Talking about suicide will not encourage it, and it may be the only thing that will prevent it. We don't want people to be afraid to say the word suicide. And why we do Movember is men are likely to die by suicide than women. 3 out of 4 people who take their own lives every year in the US are males, and it remains the biggest killer of men under the age of 44. Although the reasons aren't entirely clear, we do know that many men and boys who are going through tough times struggle in silence. They don't know how to ask for help until it's too late. Actually, according to the research, 88% of men in the US surveyed found it's helpful when people ask them, "Are you having a difficult time?" But nearly half of that, 42%, say nobody has ever asked them how they are doing, how they're coping. Even in this COVID-19 daily lives that we know have been flipped on its head. But there are some steps that we can take every day to look after ourselves and look out for others. Our focus is to provide reliable information to guide and support us all through these turbulent times that we're all experiencing.
Now, for instance, we have down on the bottom of the screen right there, if you live in the Geauga County area, which is where the 4 of us are from, if you're experiencing any type of thoughts, or if you know someone who is experiencing some sort of thing, there's the cope line down there on the bottom. But also, as we were talking earlier before we started the show, and Britt brought up a whole point of what if, as we know, there's a lot of people in the chat room right now they're literally from all over the country or from different countries. What if someone were to reach out to you, and what would you do? And well, we have, number one, we have the national suicide prevention lifeline on the bottom of the screen. But Brett, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you had suggested that we do? If a random person just reaches out to you and is I'm having suicidal thoughts. I need help, or, give an indication that they might hurt themselves? What, as a friend or someone who's gets someone that reaches out to them, what suggestion or what would you offer them to do?
So I think, as we talked earlier, if this was something to where, say, again, we're talking, live with someone, and you're on the phone, and all of a sudden they start to say things like, "Hey, I think I'm going to hurt myself. I think I want to complete suicide." I think then what I would do is really suggest that the person, if it's not something to where you're a friend with them and you're trying to talk with them, right there at that moment, you really want to call 911. You want to have what I would call like a wellness check done on that individual. So I guess I don't know that I'm answering your question completely, because I think in the context of what we talked about earlier was, if you're not real sure, if this is not somebody sitting right next to you, and you're worried, they're in a house in another state, and all of a sudden, they're talking with you and they're actually expressing some of these symptoms, you want to take that seriously. I think sometimes there's a belief that, okay, maybe they're not serious, maybe they were joking, and really, if they say it, take them seriously. And so that's, the number one thing, I would suggest is always believe that if they've actually said that, you need to take them seriously.
Well, yeah, and that was my point, is, in this world of the internet and social media and stuff, you're always communicating with people all over the world, all over the country. And as I had said, once I had brought up the topic of having you guys on the show and this being the topic, I had plenty of people reach out to me that I've known that have had issues, and we're like, "Oh, this is a great topic. Thank you for having this," and stuff. And like you had brought up to me, like, well, what if that one person had mentioned something to you? And I was like, well, I would either reach out to this 1-800 number, or, look online to find out where they live, and, try to get whatever, like, the closest help for them, and give them the information so they can, try to get help, or reach out to someone that I might know that lives around them to be like, hey, this person, a friend of both of ours, could you check in on them, or, whatever. So that was kind of more along the lines of the question, because
Right.
I'm implying that, there's a lot of people from all over that are watching this, and, what does someone do that, like I said, we're from Geauga County. This is our tight knit little, helping group here, and I'm sure that each county all across the United States has their own little groups and everything, that each, you just do a quick search and you should be able to find any kind of resource. And, I have a couple links in the show notes for today, which go to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and their website and resources. And I also have a link to the state of Ohio and their resource guide for suicide prevention and mental health awareness and stuff like that. But Donna, let's talk a little bit more about Movember, and let's talk a little bit about like what you guys, what is the whole thing you guys are doing to for Movember, and like, with the whole pictures and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So you brought up that picture last year of me and our little at our little stand there. There we go. And so last year we took our little dog and pony show on the road in the month of November, and we had what we called this little pop-up shop. And Tracy and other members of the Suicide Coalition would go out and just to different like coffee shops or different events, and have our little pop-up shop, and ask people to take pictures with mustaches and give them some education and materials about men's mental health. This year, because of COVID, we really can't go out into the community like we would hope. And so we are still running our photo contest. And so we're asking people to send either group pictures or individual pictures. Or this year, my little dog's not here, but this year we started a pet contest as well to show us pictures of your pets with mustaches. And people are to send those to the Ravenwood Facebook page, and we will vote, and people can get prizes. You already mentioned we're having the coloring contest for the kids.
But yeah, I have
So-
the addresses on the bottom of the screen there. So if anyone's interested in sending a picture, they can email it to wadefoley22@gmail.com.
That's right.
So I think that if I want to just kind of jump in, I think that what we're trying to do, I mean, I know this is all silly, we're wearing mustaches, put this on. What we're really trying to do is, it's okay to talk about mental health. It's okay to say the word suicide. It's okay to say, how are you doing? Are you okay? And as Tracy even said earlier, I think, one of our concerns is that sometimes with men and even with boys, is we might be less likely to ask them if they're okay. And so we're trying to promote men's mental health by the mustaches. That's a whole, so we have these stickers. I don't know, Tracy, if you could hold up those little stickers that you can get. We can, pass them out. This is obviously in Geauga County, but also Movember is it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's a worldwide event.
Worldwide. And so it's a way in which we're trying to get people just to talk about it and actually say the word, ask people how they're doing. Because what we know is the more that you talk about it, just says, yes, it's okay not to be okay. The more that you talk about it, I think the more people you reach. And again, I know that, we've talked about this off the show before, but we want to model for the young boys. We really want to model for the young boys. We want guys to be talking about it so that the young boys can see this is okay. Just because I'm a boy doesn't mean that I don't have all of these difficult feelings also. And so just talk about it. Just don't be afraid to.
I'm a boy and I'm not afraid to admit that I suffer from depression. Don't laugh at me. I don't care.
So,
That's good.
I'm not.
But
so Scott, I will say this too. So I work for the Educational Service Center of the Western Reserve. So I'm in education, and we have some youth leadership groups in our schools. And last year, the biggest concern that our students had was mental health. Our students were talking about that was their biggest issue in school was mental health. And so we had a group of kids help redesign the Copeline posters to make it more appealing to their age group. But I also wanted to go back to something we said earlier, and that is men, women or people in general don't ask men how they're feeling because they feel like, they don't want to talk about it. And sometimes we might even feel like if we ask them, or God forbid, we make that phone call to 911, that people will be mad at us. But I'm going to say this: who could be mad at someone caring about you so much that that they want to help save your life?
Yeah, definitely. And you dealing with youth now, what would you find, like, because this is definitely something that's been at the forefront over the last, I guess, few months, just because of the climate of the world. But a lot of especially dealing with students, like bullying, but then also like getting into the online world of social media, where you have these groups of people that are just like socially bullying people, and and it's just a relentless like beat down that kids can't get away. Like when we were growing up, it was like if you were bullied or picked on at school, you left school and that was it, and you just had to worry about it the next day when you went. But now it's just like relentless text messages, through social media, emails. So these kids are getting pounded left and right, by hazing or getting bullied and stuff like that. I mean, do you guys find that this is something that's prevalent right now? I mean, that's just a question off the top of my head, because this is, number one, an experience of a situation that I've recently gone through, and talking with you guys, and then Donna, being involved with the younger kids. And my whole thing is like starting them early to learn that it's okay to like express their voice to an adult if something's happening that's upsetting them.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We as adults, the best thing that we can do is have, make as many good, healthy relationships with young people that we can. we all touch young people's lives. It doesn't matter if you're in education or, if you have a podcast show. We have neighbors, we have family, just on the street. You know what I mean? We can impact people, young people, by developing good relationships with them. We find in school, some kids, they like to hang out with the custodian. That's a good, healthy relationship. Some kids like to talk to the bus driver. Some kids have their favorite, their art teacher, their music teacher. But we as adults, we have to model good, healthy behavior and make as many good, positive relationships with kids. And I will say this: you talked a little bit about bullying. Our student leadership groups, when we ask kids directly what's going on in your lives, we ask them to tell us, because we always think bullying. I always think, oh yeah, kids are being bullied. They say they have fear and anxiety about the future. They say that there's a lot of stress in their lives to do well, and in this climate, they're looking at, they're being told they have to go to college, and kids are worried about how they're going to pay for college and the debt that they're going to incur. I mean, we have 18-year-olds thinking about, if I go to college, I'm going to have $100,000 in debt. Kids are worried about this stuff. So it's not just bullying. I mean, kids have they're worried about things that we never did at that age, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. I mean, life pressure, social pressure, pleasing your parents, and, there's, and even like romantic things too, like when it comes to like relationships with the opposite sex or whoever. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of heaviness to a lot of different situations, especially being a teenager and just going through a flurry of emotions and not understanding what is going on. So, but yeah, so I didn't mean to change it from that to that, but it was just kind of as you started talking about that, it kind of like it kind of reminded me something that it did, because I mean that specific topic is something that's like super fresh on with me, and a situation that happened a couple months ago, and which also kind of leads to like me really wanting to be involved with you guys and trying to help make a difference and making more people aware that, it's okay to not be okay, and to, try to do what you can to like look for the signs and to help the people and know how to help them properly and stuff like that. So, but I want to thank you guys for all being on here tonight. I'm going to be doing a series of podcasts, and I'm going to be interviewing each one of these ladies and talking a little bit more about their speciality and expertise and what they do and how it all revolves around this and stuff like that. Because I just think that for myself, educating myself on this whole topic is very important. And if I can use my voice and use this platform to get the word out about the things that they do and how they're, if we can just help one person, I mean, that's all we can really ask for, and if it happens to be 253 million people that we help, then even better for us, right? Then we'll just have an overpopulated planet. So
can I say one more thing?
You can, Tracy. You can say 5 more things.
This the whole time.
Okay, you're done. You said 6 things. Way too much.
This mustache is our ribbon for men's mental health. I saw somebody asked a question: how do you get wonderful stickers? They're vinyl clings to decorate your water bottles or laptops. This is to remind you to spread the word. If you see somebody who's struggling, please ask them if they're okay. Email to that email address at wadefoley22 and tell them you'd like a sticker, and send your address where it's to, and we'll make sure you get these wonderful stickers. And don't forget, please submit your photographs of your mustache so we can vote. You'll win a prize. And we have these awesome coloring pages, which I thought looked like Aaron and Scott. That one?
It looks like Aaron. You should draw some glasses on it.
I'm not sure I understand. But my series is asking questions. Or this one. And your pets. So get those.
Shut up, Aaron.
That one looks just like Scott.
I told you I have it.
I don't know if y'all know that, but Scott generally does wear a monocle.
There he is.
Hey, remember, guys,
all the time.
Sport your mustaches during November and help us change the face of men's mental health.
Well done.
Yeah, even Whaler guys who shave off their mustaches, the worst. Oh, jeez, I don't even want to get started on them. They ruined Movember because they shaved their mustache. There we go. We should get the whaler population to start growing the, you know, the Donegal whaler guys need to start growing their mustaches for. Yeah. Yeah. All you
North
guys.
Dakota Watts, Tyler Hill.
All right,
Shannon
ladies. Well,
Brett.
thank you guys very much for coming on
Thanks for having
tonight.
us.
We
Thank you.
greatly appreciate this. And we hope that, you know, we've made a little difference. We hope we've answered a few questions for people that have checked in. But like I said, we're going to be touching base with each one of you individually on individual podcasts coming up in the near future. So
Thank you. Bye.
all right. See you guys later.
Thank you, ladies.